visionary, an entrepreneur, a business owner. You want to make money from your passion and create the freedom that you've dreamed of. But it's slow. The income is slow, the impact is slow, and the freedom is slow. And here's the kicker. You've actually never been busier. You're working longer than ever, burning through daylight, and your family have forgotten who you are. You're tired and frustrated and you can't even sleep well at night. The business just feels so heavy, and all you ever wanted to do was just make the money you want to make doing the things that you want to do. And that's where I come in. Hi, if we haven't met yet, my name is Dr. Storme, and I'm the host of the Business Acceleration Podcast, where we shift your business from heavy to light, time poor to time abundant, and from income lack to income growth. We're going to achieve it together with my 20 years experience as a psychologist, helping people just like you to break through their barriers. And we're going to throw in a little of the woo as well. So thank you so much for pushing play today. Let's begin. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Business Acceleration Podcast. I am so pleased that you're here. Oh, wow. What a year, hey? If you just stop and think back to January, we're now, the 9th of December today. If you stop and think back to January and where your business was or where your business idea was and where you are today, just look at everything you've done. And I will bet my bottom dollar that you underestimated all of the things that you'd be able to do in a year. I think you've probably far exceeded what you thought you would do. I think perhaps you had some goals in mind and maybe they've been met, maybe not. But I think you've also done a lot of extra things too. And this is what I wanted to focus on. It's something that's really dear to my heart because, I kind of have a reputation myself for being an action taker and somebody who just quickly goes away and implements everything. And that's true. I do. I love taking action. I love getting into my masculine energy and being a leader over here and taking the steps I need to take in order to move the business forward. But there are ways that I've gone about that have allowed me to maintain a really high level of energy despite doing some really big things on top of my normal work. So my situation is that my normal work, in air quotes, is my practice. That practice is an allied health practice in the Mornington Peninsula in beautiful Victoria, Australia, and I love being here. I really do. And I have a really beautiful team and we're, I think I mentioned last time, we're interviewing people and we've got some contracts out. So you'll get to meet some new members of the team over time, which is awesome. However, I've also been doing coaching and I made a decision to really try and increase the coaching business. So I've got these two businesses now. They're both profitable, both doing well, but I really want to step away from psychology and move more into the coaching. And the reason for that is pure and simple alignment. I have to walk my talk. I'm telling everybody else you've got to operate in alignment, so I have to do that too. But I guess in terms of everything that I've done this year, I didn't go into this year expecting the coaching to take off the way that it has. And I've had a number of things happen that have been really big things. And I'm sure lots of you have too, and you can relate. But I just wanted to go over how I did them so that, you might be able to do them too. So first of all, there was the book. Now, that book was about manifesting, and that book was written in quite a short space of time, and it became popular really quickly as well. And you know what? The reason that that book was written was because there was a demand for it, number one. I've been asked in my group, hey, you should put this stuff in a book. So I thought that sounds like a good idea and I'll have a crack at that. So I did. Writing the book itself, and I've spoken to other authors and publishers, and they can't believe it was written in such a short amount of time. But my style of writing is very conversational. I write how I think, I write how I speak. And so, it was, some people say, oh, that's no time to write a book. You need years or months and you're not a serious author. And they're right. I'm not a serious author. I'm just somebody who wanted to share her thoughts. And that's what I did. I just put them down on paper. And this took a few days, but it only took a few days because I was lit up. I was so excited about it that I was in the zone and my fingers were literally flying across the keyboard. I mean, looking back, I probably should have just dictated the book. But I love typing. I love the sound of the clack, clack, clack that my fingers make on my little keyboard, on my rose gold MacBook Air. I love it so much. And I was just there and I was just like typing away and all the words were just tumbling out onto the paper. And then when it was all finished, I just loved it. I loved it, loved it, loved it. And I knew that this was what people were going to want to read. And so then I sent it out to a few people, because if you've been following me on social for a little while, you know that I always test everything before I take it to market. So I had given the book to, some guinea pigs in my Facebook group and asked them for their opinion, and I did all of that. But it was all very, very exciting. And the book cover I got done on a platform called Fiverr. You've heard me talk about that before. So I got that done with Fiverr, and I love that. It looks like a puff of smoke, like a genie might be coming out of a bottle or something, and it's really colourful smoke. And it's just beautiful. It really captured the feeling that I wanted for the book. And so I was excited to get that. Then I was excited for it to go onto Amazon. I was excited. And look, yes, there's work behind it. And I think if you didn't want to do the work, this could have absolutely taken you a long time, because you would have procrastinated and you wouldn't have done it, and it would have been heavy and it would have felt clunky and horrible. But for me, I was hungry for it. I was so thirsty, and I was like, yes, let's do this. Let's get it done. And so the whole thing from beginning to end didn't take longer than 2 weeks. Then it was done. And yeah, now it's out there and people are buying it, and it's so exciting and I love it so much. So that was just one thing that happened on top of running the 2 businesses, and I hadn't planned for the book. Something else that happened was I was asked to write for a magazine. And of course I said yes straight away, like within minutes of being asked. I just knew in my heart, in my gut, in my soul, I just knew I had to write for this magazine. So the magazine is called Storme, and it only launched this year. And I just felt like it was a real privilege and a real honor to write for this magazine, because it helps me to help more people. If somebody goes there and they read my articles, so for that magazine, I write articles all about manifesting in your business and getting your business into alignment with your vision and your goals and your values and all spiritual things like that. Not from a corporate perspective of values and visions, but from a spiritual one. So I love doing that. And I'm hoping and praying that there's one person out there that looks forward to reading my article every month, because I want to be giving value and I want to help. And if it's helping one person, then this is great. So yes, it's an honor and a privilege for me to do that. It does also take up a little bit of time, but the time flies because I'm having fun and I'm loving doing it. Okay. On top of that, I also write for another magazine, Peninsula Kids. Again, that takes time, but guess what? I love doing that. So it doesn't feel like it's hard. It doesn't feel heavy. There's no resistance there. And then recently I was asked to write for another magazine. It's Mindful Soul Center, and it is a very spiritual magazine. I mean, we just did an issue on women's health and womb health in particular. And so writing for that magazine, I get to talk to a different audience and I get to connect with them in a different way. And I love doing that. And do you know what? Although all these articles are often due at the same time, I will always find time to write because I love it. I'm no good at writing. I'm really not a very good writer. I was not trained in writing, or, the Salva, the accredited mental health social worker that's on my team at the practice, she's learning how to be a writer, and she's doing it properly. She's at university and she's doing assignments and workshopping her chapters and all of this sort of stuff. I'm not that person. I'm just someone who's passionate and I want to share knowledge. I feel like my purpose on this earth is to share knowledge, and the reason I feel like that's my purpose is because I am happiest, I am most excited and most lit up when I'm getting results, and when I'm, not when I'm getting results, when clients I'm working with are getting results using the tools and the strategies that I teach them. So that's how I know now that my purpose is to share knowledge, to help others. And it's very selfish because I do it because it makes me feel good. The side effect is that they get to experience achievement and accomplishment. They get to have a transformation, going from feeling really overwhelmed and stuck and not knowing what to do and feeling quite alone, to feeling connected, to feeling like they're achieving and progressing and improving and are on the right track. And they start to step into their power. So it's just amazing. And then aside from all of that, I'm often asked to contribute to other articles like Sydney Morning Herald, and for the Nine Network in Australia, and for Fox 8 overseas and stuff like that. Then this year, quite unexpectedly and quite randomly, right in the middle of all of this stuff that was going on, I got asked to go and visit LA and be on TV over there to talk about manifesting in business and stuff like that. And of course, I'm not going to say no. And I'm so excited. And guess what? I tee the business up so that the businesses can survive while I'm away, and off I go. And next thing you know, a few days later, I'm actually there on the Walk of Fame, and it was so inspiring because I don't know if you've been there or not, but for me it was very inspiring because Hollywood is all about stories of chance. It's not about all of these stories of people who got loads of qualifications and then it was just their path to take that next step and be, an actor or something like that. No. Everywhere you go, there's stories of chance encounters, there's stories of chance situations, there's stories of people being in the right place at the right time, all of that sort of stuff. And so for that reason, it makes you realize that you are just as deserving as anybody else of having what you want in your life. You are just as deserving as anybody else of having that dream come true. And so that inspires you and that gives you more and more energy. And then, so then there was that. And then from there, hop on a plane to go and be on Sky talking about business and manifesting in London. And so beautiful. I love London so much, and I was fortunate to have a couple of days either side of that show and spend time in Mayfair and Piccadilly and looking at all the beautiful bookstores, and I was just so appreciative and grateful that I had these opportunities. And then I come home, and of course there's holidays and travel and trips and stuff like that, and then there's recruiting and building a team. And people say to me, oh my gosh. Oh, and then of course there's the next book. So as you know, I've written another book. It's called How to Manifest $1,000 in 21 Days. Now, I didn't write this for my business clients, though they're absolutely welcome to have copies of it. But I wrote it for people who love the manifesting stuff that I do, because again, this was born out of a challenge I ran in a Facebook group. It just went really well. Somebody suggested, hey, you could take this further. And so what I did was I just manualized an approach. And I knew how to do it because for my PhD, I had to manualize an approach. So I know how to do a manual. And it didn't seem hard. It was a project that I did around running these two businesses and all of the responsibilities that I had with those, and travel and everything else. But I found time to focus and I had the energy. And, sometimes girlfriends or colleagues, they'll say to me, oh my gosh, like, where do you find the time to do all of this stuff? How do you find the energy? It sounds exhausting, but guys, it's not. And the secret is you have to focus on the things that light you up, because when you're lit up and when you're so excited about something that you're working on, the time flies, and it doesn't take anywhere near as long as it would if you didn't want to do it. Okay. And you just have to start tuning in to the parts of your business or the parts of your life that make you feel really good, that make you feel really excited, and you have to focus on those. Everything else delegate, get rid of it, give it to somebody else. Now, I have had mixed experiences delegating. And some people say to me, well, you know what, it's just easier to do it myself. And I get it because I have had that same thought too. But what I know now is that if you train your VA from the outset and you show them exactly what you need them to do, then you're going to be able to feel a lot more comfortable delegating. So now, for example, in the past, I didn't know any processes and I would hire somebody and I'd say, just do this. I need that done. I need that done. And it'll come back, it'd be horrible. And I would give them what I thought was good direction, but it was still coming back as horrible. Now I know that when I'm going to outsource a task or delegate a task, what I do now is I screen record an example of what I want them to do. So I do that, so that becomes training. The other thing that I do is I create a template and I say, this is the template. So every time you do this for me, I want you to use this as the template. This is the guide. This is what we're going off. I am very specific in the template and the instructions, and I will do things like Google the RGB color codes so that they get the exact color of navy blue for my brand that I want, and not some close to navy blue color or near enough. No, they're going to have the exact code, so they're going to get it. So I'm not going to have to worry about that. I give them the font size. It does take a little bit of time to set this up, but once you've got it, you will never lose it, and it's just going to make your life so much easier, and it makes life easier for the person that's helping you because they know exactly what you want. So yes, do delegate out the things that you don't want to do. The other thing is, in business, I do believe it's a huge learning curve and you never stop, and there's always going to be that one little task that you just don't like doing. For some people, that's recruiting. Not me. I love recruiting and get great results. But, I use a very spiritual framework for it, and I haven't been let down yet. But the thing that is a bugbear for me is writing copy for a Facebook ad. I'm no good at it, and that's not negative self-talk, and it's not me using, unhelpful language. It's just reality. I have tried, and I've tried in all different ways. But guess what? I outsourced that, and just the act of outsourcing it, and when I got it back, I could see straight away that this person has a skill set that I don't. And the other thing that I realized too when I first started delegating things was I used to think to myself, oh, Brooklyn, I don't know if you really want to outsource that. You should just keep working longer and you should just do it yourself. Stay back after work and do it. But what I understand now is that, my coaching is hundreds of dollars an hour. In some programs, it's $1,000 an hour. In fact, my VIP days, which I do 5 a year, they're sold out for the next 2 years, and they're $15,000. So it doesn't make any sense if I'm charging, say, $200 or $500 for a 1 hour session. Why on earth would I spend 1 hour trying to teach myself how to make a lead magnet or how to write a Facebook ad or how to do all sorts of things? It doesn't make any sense. That's costing my business $500 or $1,000. So it's much better for me to pay somebody else $50 or $100 to do it. Okay. There are different places you can go to outsource. A lot of people use a platform called Online Jobs PH. But I like Fiverr. There's another one that's called Airtasker, but Fiverr is my go-to. I understand what I'm doing with Fiverr now. I didn't at the beginning, and I would often get back tasks that didn't look anything like what I'd ordered. But I also understand now I wasn't giving clear direction and clear instruction. If you're going to order tasks on any platforms, before you do, see if there's a contact button or see if there's a chat button, and engage the seller in conversation around what it is that you need, because this is going to save you a headache down the track. It'll take only a couple of minutes, but it'll give you a chance to do things like check English language proficiency, to check skill proficiency, to check competencies, to check style, all of that sort of stuff. And most of all, to check if you and the seller are going to be a good match to work together. Okay, so delegating things that don't light you up is going to free up your space spiritually, emotionally, energetically to focus on the things that do. And so then coming to work is a pleasure. It's a real excitement. I come to work every day and I'm super excited to be here. I come to work every day and I'm super excited to see who's booked in for a coaching session, to see who's booked in for, another service that I have now. It's just new. I haven't been promoting it yet, but it's not coaching. It's called Your Secret Angel, and it's an emotional safety net for coaches and psychologists and people in business that are struggling and they're going to have a sleepless night because there's been some drama that's happened. I have been approached by enough people to know that not everybody wants to air their concerns and worries and stresses in a public forum like a Facebook group. So that's totally cool, and I get it. So I've got this too. So there are lots of different things. There is no limit to what you want to achieve in your business other than the limits you create energetically. You have an awareness deep inside of what you like to do and what you don't. And you know it. And don't tell me that you don't, because I know that you do. You've had a time, probably today or yesterday or last week, where you had an internal groan about something, something to do with your business. Maybe it was an internal groan about using an Excel spreadsheet or paying a debt or working with a particular client or dealing with a colleague or a team member or something like that. But there would have been moments in the business where you groaned last week. There would have been moments in the business where you said to yourself, oh my gosh, I don't want to do this. What can I do instead? And so actively sought a distraction or actively put something aside or on the back burner. Let me tell you, get rid of those things. Get them off your plate. Getting them off your plate is going to allow you to operate in your zone of genius, okay? If you want some details and some information about how you can do that, I've got a PDF that you can download, and it's going to walk you through some of the things that I use to simplify my energy so that I can be really focused, I can be lit up, and I can get more done. You can do this too. And it's not about increasing the amount of output. It's about increasing the joy that you experience in your business, because it's that joy that's going to be the driver for you taking the business to that next level, okay? Joy is limitless and gratitude is limitless, and we want you tapping into these two emotions, these two feelings, so that you can have a business that's, it's just whatever your goal is, whatever your dream is, whether it's impact, whether it's income, whether it's a better balance of your work with your life. If it's you want to just work 3 weeks and have the last week off, or maybe it's you only want to work 3 days and have 2 days off, it doesn't matter. You can do all of that stuff when you're in the mood to do it, when you're doing the tasks that feel good, that excite you, that you look forward to doing. Honestly, I don't have a paper diary at the moment. I'm trying to do everything on digital, but I have a little whiteboard in front of my desk, and each day I come in the morning and I do a 5-minute meditation. I get focused. I set my intention for the day. I do all of that sort of good stuff. And then on my little whiteboard, I write down some of the things that I want to manifest for the day, or some people might call this a to-do list. I call it a to-manifest list, and always include something fun on there. And I get excited when I'm sitting down at my desk and I can look at that whiteboard. I'm excited and I'm thinking, oh, which one should I do next? And I save one for the end of the day, and then I spend my whole day in a state of excitement and in a state of flow and in a state of, this really beautiful energy. And if that energy dips, I am attuned enough to myself, to my energy, to my core, to know that something is not right, that I veered off my path, that I need to come back. And I can just recalibrate very easily by raising my vibration with a little bit of gratitude work, and I get myself back on track. And if there's something that's popped up that's making me feel uncomfortable that I don't want to do, if it's something that can be delegated, I get it off my plate. The other thing that helps you stay really focused and keep your energy high in your business is taking responsibility for things and acting from a place of integrity. So when I say that I am going to do something, I do it. I want to be known for my good word. I want to be known as that person who is helpful. I want to be known as the person who follows through on her commitments and her obligations. And I want to be known as somebody who's kind and generous. And so they're my values, and I try and live them, and I try and embody them, and I check in with myself at different times of the day to make sure that I'm in alignment with those. Because if I'm out of alignment, then my energy is going to dip, and then my focus is going to dip. And that's when I'm going to start to get distracted by things like the bright and shiny objects. Okay? So there's some tips. If you want more information and you want to get some ideas on where you could outsource, or some ideas on how to keep your energy high and focused, help yourself to the PDF. It's free. And yes, also go and check out the website if you like. I'll put that in the show notes. I'll also put a link to my email in the show notes. So if you have any questions about your energy and how you can keep it high so that you can have an abundant and profitable 2020, send me an email, honestly, because I would love to help you with it. I can do a podcast about it for you. There's no such thing as a silly question. Every question is relevant. You're not going to be the only person that's thinking it, but you will be the one who got off a bum and actually sent an email and asked for help with it. And, credit to you if you do that. Now, last of all, before you leave, I am setting a goal for myself with iTunes reviews, and I would love if you could leave a review on iTunes. All you need to do is on your device, click the Apple Podcasts, just like you've done now. You just go search and you type Brooklyn Storme. My name will come up, the podcast will come up, the episode list comes up. Scroll towards the bottom of the episodes and you'll see 5 stars, and just beneath those 5 stars you'll see a little space that says write a review, and you can write a review there, and I would be so thankful for that. And yes, thank you so much for listening. I hope that this helps. I really want you to nail it in 2020, and I will do everything in my power to help you have the 2020 in your business that you really want, that you dream of, and of course you deserve. Thank you so much for listening. Download the PDF, leave a review, and I'll talk to you later. Thanks so much, guys. Bye. Thank you so much for listening today. I really hope that you enjoyed it and got a lot of value from it. Help me help others by sharing this podcast. And if you feel called to leave a review on Apple Podcasts, remember to let me know so that I can send you a very special thank you gift. Now go and build your dream business, and I will see you next time. Bye.